And then we get into the 1990s itself. So with no sign of the show really coming back, there seems to be a lot of stuff out there still, starting off with Doctor Who book range that started in 1990, I think, called the Doctor Who New Adventures. And Ace was very heavily prominent in that. I just wanted to know if you read them or if you were informed about them at the time, etc. Were you involved in anything with those books?
Do you know, it's interesting. I can't quite remember how much or little I was involved. Peter Darvill Evans, who was the boss at Virgin Publishing at the time, was a big Doctor Who fan, and he was very keen on the character of Ace, I think. Yeah. And he also used a lot of the writers who, you know, like people like Mark Platt, and so and I did read some of them. I can't remember whether I also got sent the covers, which I thought were fantastic. You know, I loved the covers, but we didn't have any close involvement in them.
Yeah.
Other than, because I mean, to be honest, we'd moved on by then. You know, as I said, I was doing lots of presenting and stuff like that. So Doctor Who became a thing that, oh, well, I did that job, and that's great that they're bringing some books out. You know, it wasn't a sort of a big thing in a way.
Of course. I only ask because there's a picture floating around online of you dressing up as the book version of Ace.
Yeah, well, that was when that was about 5 years after the show had been put on hiatus, and a good friend of mine, Mike Tucker, who was a visual effects. He was in the visual effects team on most of the stories that I did. We'd kept in touch. I loved the visual effects department. They were great guys. They were always, you know, up for a laugh and blowing stuff up, and, you know, had a great job making models, which I was very interested in. So anyway, Mike and I got on very well together. And I can't remember, I think it may have been him who suggested that we make like a scrapbook of our time on Doctor Who, because both of us used to take photographs around the set, and we had these fantastic photographs, and we wanted to be able to show the fans. And so we went to Peter Darvill Evans at Virgin and showed him our photographs, and he practically started drooling on the spot, and he commissioned us to write this book, Ace, the inside story of the end of an era. And so we had great fun doing it. We used a lot of our friends in fandom and beyond to help us do it. Gary Russell in particular, he edited it for us, which is great. And Mark, I can't remember his surname now, but he brilliantly did all the graphic design and put it together. And I'm so glad we did it, because it's a beautiful, beautiful book, and it's a really lovely memory. But we were thinking about what we could do for a cover. And I don't know whether it was Peter who suggested that I dress up, I think it probably was, in the New Adventures outfit. And it was quite funny because I'd never worn anything like that before, funnily enough. And we had to go to a rather, a sort of a private members shop in the East End somewhere. And it had a kind of a little blackboard outside. I think it was called, as I remember, I think it was called Shh, was the name of the shop. And we walked in, and there were all kind of interesting things on the walls and sort of on display. And the woman there, she looked at me, she gave me this, it was actually a rubber suit, the suit. And I said, oh, great. She said, well, do you want to try it on? You'll need this. And she gave me this bottle of talc. And I had to put talcum powder on all over my body. And then put this thing on, because otherwise it kind of gets hot and then you can't get it off again, you know. Anyway, I tried it on. And we did the shoot. And I can't remember. I think Mike made the belt and the props and everything. And another good friend of mine, Paige Bell, she did the makeup, and we had great fun doing that. And then Robin Pritchard, who again is an old friend of mine through fandom, he's a brilliant photographer. He came and took the photographs, and then we also did the one for the front cover, which was me with a burning Dalek and a baseball bat. And it was the sort of like, you know, Ace then, Ace now, as it was.